of reach. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope. An opportunity like that doesn't come by often.
Paimon thought the Duke did that! Whatever. Guess you were looking out for us after all.
Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been everything to me.
Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're taking things a little fast.
What I mean is, even though I had asked you to solve this puzzle, you two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist. That's why you two have been everything to me. Get it?
Nahida's talking about confusing stuff again.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yesterday help you gain a new understanding of the situation?
Huh? Why are you scrapping your previous theory? Oh, yeah! You're right! Gosh, how did we not notice that?
So, what's your new hypothesis?
Mercenaries rely heavily on muscle memory, and Dia was able to use her experiences to avoid injury in later samsara cycles. The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. We've already experienced the Sub-Zerus festival many times, and the moon, illusions, and lies. That doesn't sound right. The beep is a Okay, Nahida said the... Mercenaries rely heavily... If all our memories of a day are erased...
Oh! Then the beep we hear every night could just be indicating the deletion of our memories! That's why when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival hasn't happened yet! But muscle memory can't be erased.
A brilliant deduction.
Nahida, tell us if we're right or wrong!
To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much on your perception that it glows.
That isn't simple at all!
Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again? You might learn something new.
Right! She did help us find our latest clue after all. Let's go!
We don't have many more festivals to waste.
There you are. Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt today.
Get hurt? Why would I?
Well, you're still getting used to your new greatsword.
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt so familiar in my hands and... wait a second! How did you know I got a new greatsword to begin with? I didn't tell anyone about it.
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Paimon's gotten a little sick of doing it. Oh, that works!
What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed by some cult?
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face value.
All right then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already gotten used to this great sword, but my brain just doesn't remember it?
Yes, your memory's being erased every day.
Then I'd have to disagree.
Oh? Why do you think that?
If we've actually been reliving the Sub-Zero's festival day after day, then what happened to the things we used, the money we spent, the food we ate? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed that.
Right! They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's resources to replenish everything! It's not very likely, but it's also not impossible.
No, it is impossible. I've got proof.
You have proof? Where?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion. Come with me, Miss Dunyarzad. Please come along as well.
Paimon can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
This is it.
Huh? This is a wooden training dummy.
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth of practice. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now?
That's true, but what if they did?
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of refined control. The force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my state of mind as I made each strike. It's just as they say, each swordsman has their own unique style, and even the same swordsman can't make the same cut twice.
Is it really impossible? What if they used some fancy machine to carve every single mark?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training. Whew, I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain-exercise game that's been super popular with the scholars lately? Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. But at least we've reached some other conclusions in the meantime. Yep, that's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right now? Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately. Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's really strange how we never thought of such a simple solution! Paimon can't believe it! Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning too hard on our other theories? Or how about we go back and ask Nahida? Nahida, we're back!
You're back early today. Did you find something new?
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the...
Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before.
We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened after we talked about those plans? What did...
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still, neither of us remember anything about leaving town.
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories.
Yep, something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow. Our memories are back! can begin.
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have enough. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's go!
Why can't we leave the city?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage.
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city today?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters in. This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's... Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But... What if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Oh... Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but... We've always been together, haven't we? Okay. Paimon will wait for you. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look. And please, be careful. Memories! Traveler! Paimon would never see you again! You just disappeared! Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon that you were only taking a quick look!
Paimon, calm down. He's here now.
Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually disappear.
Okay. Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really happened yesterday? I see. Using two people's different perspectives.
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention.
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this? I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we send it back?
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of Dunyarzad for me.
Yep, now we're talking.
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal?
I made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages.
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated since it happened once yesterday. But Paimon still isn't happy about it. Okay. See you tomorrow, Traveler. That covers everything that's happened so far.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside.
Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside.
There's another part here.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now! Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end right there?
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha.
The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal.
After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared.
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic? All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. That doesn't sound right.
Oh, so that's what it is! After after the sound of the beep, the final space, later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Paimon's head is spinning.
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? Hey, where are you going? Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad?
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away. Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know. Oh, wait, no. Let's...
Delve into destiny.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay. First off, have you discovered the hidden truth?
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. Okay. We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times, and the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Those spaces remind me of dreams, like the one I had in the Avidia Forest, except these have no sign of human presence. The moon, illusions, and lies. People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. I can't seem to We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream. But the truth is, the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all.
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right.
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom?
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom.
So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. And the real story is that the sages from the academia are using...
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night, even though we removed our Akasha. Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, many more spaces materialized. Those dreamscapes kept vanishing, but as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared. The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate." My mind feels exhausted. We've already experienced the Sub-Zerus festival many times. I can't...
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zerus festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zerus festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again...
So, this is like a dream factory.
Very good, Paimon.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream...
Alright, last question. Who am I?
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, if Nahida has referred to herself as the moon... Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions a hint that we're all dreaming? Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions hinting at the sage's deception of Sumeru's people? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right.
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning. It's funny, thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't...
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your minds. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced this Sub-Zero's festival. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories from earlier samsara, right? That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And in any case, so whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's festival...
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia Forest.
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sub-Zero's festival
Can humans really keep dreaming for...
We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody...
I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday?
Even you don't know the reason? Wow, now that's strange.
The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. Traveler, do you have any information?
Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the god. Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the... The Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth...
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean... deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. After we end the Sub-Zero's festival samsara...
How can the sages of the Academia...
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today!
I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Nahida? Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali? Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way! Are we too late?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not... The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees,
But personality-wise, she's...
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's... You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still... far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sub-Zero's festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault, and theirs alone.
I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and a real Archon.
Don't be like that, Nahida.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible.
Great, but how do we do that?
Although the Sub-Zero's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, that means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So, how should we find that person?
Well, if this is someone's dream, then which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination? What do you mean by that?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that the dream will respond in kind. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many, find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming.
How are we going to find them, though? And even if we did find them, after all, like you said...
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. As for me, during this time, I'll be out of town.
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the Traveler went?
Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end.
Paimon's still a little upset that we've come this far only for Dunyarzad to... She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. Yeah, saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this dream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no? Huh. That's true. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
You're back. You left in a hurry last time.
Everything's fine. Just,
An experiment? That came out of nowhere.
could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition or something?
Less questions, more wishing!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to anyone. She just doesn't seem like herself. She's always so gentle and kind, and I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
So, you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
Oh, is it that obvious? When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, what she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Faki? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Nice try, you two.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when... Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself. You're going down!
Written in the stars!
Today, come on, coward!
The wind knows me.
Speed of light! Hey!
One with nature.
Incoming!
I'll be back.
Speed of light! Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Dunyarzad wouldn't want to see you two like this. Oh, and speaking of her, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, she said it was because she had forgotten something? Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She put, yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people. Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek inside. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing. Should we open it? Wow, Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival, she must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zero's festival, right? If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her. Hey! Where are you off to now? Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilu's dance of Sub-Zeros.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What? Where are we going this time?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into the Grand Sage has already granted.
How did things turn out like this? Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into this.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Padisarahs went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisarahs in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisarahs? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. Dunyarzad, did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, how?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting weird. But okay, I'll try. Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host! What a surprise! Purple Padisarahs don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assumed there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real patisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sabzeruz festival?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, as far as you know, people in Sumeru...
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage?
Ooh, sounds familiar.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story?
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But...
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sabzeruz festival is almost over, too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sabzeruz as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sabzeruz.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilu's dance.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival? Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What usual spot?
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zeros.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else.
What's going on? Why are you two so excited to see me? Hasn't it only been a night?
It's actually been much longer than that.
Oh? Strange.
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first.
After we parted on the last day among the countless dreams, I found once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
Both are fine.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious.
You also heard someone's voice, right?
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned, but I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about,
the traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine.
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida?
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation. And I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning.
Believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero samsara, I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. I think they're deliberately trying to hide—
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville?
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming. You mean how the Akasha stopped—
Yeah, It's been such a long time!
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection.
Misdirection?
The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Even if the truth is that their dreams are being... With their propaganda in place, the sages can... Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the... Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it. I hope to be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's... Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now.
Go and get some sleep.
What a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you...
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.